Hello, in this video we are going to start our high poly model. So the first thing I do when starting a high poly is duplicate the low poly. So I want to keep my low poly. I'm going to hit Control D on the group, and that should duplicate everything from that group. I'm going to hide the original by hitting Control H. I'll hide it. You can also go to the outliner and change this to on and off. You can hit 1, that's on, 0 is off. And we have this here. So now I won't rename this now because you'll have to rename it again afterwards. Usually something will happen that messes up your naming. So I usually do that at the end. So the first thing is, let's start with this. This will be probably the easiest piece. So let's isolate it. So the thing that we do when we do a high poly is adding support edges. And the reason why we do that is if we show you to hit 3, when we hit 3, this goes to a subdivided, a display smooth kind of view. You see that everything is kind of mushy. It didn't retain its shape because it averages out the geometry. This is the same thing as just going to shift right click into our marquee menu and going to smooth. And then you can add more subdivisions and that will make it more smooth. But you see how it doesn't have sharp edges where you want it, but it is smooth. So I'm going to undo this and go back to our original. Okay, so to fight that, we add support edges. So let's go over here, insert edge loop, and I want to set this to be equal distance. And I'm going to add an edge here. And now if I hit 3, you see that this has a much sharper edge there. It's because it's retaining the shape. That edge that we added is retaining the shape of it right there. And if we want a sharp edge, if we want a sharp corner here, then we'll just add more edge loops. So we can add one right here, one right here, and hit 3. You see, it's much sharper. It's retaining that shape much better. And so I have mirroring on, so that's why I got both sides there. And I'll add an edge loop right here. And that went all the way through on the other side. And then I'll add one down here. So I can hit 3 and see how that's now gummy. It's a little bit gummy here, so I can add an edge loop right there. Okay. And that looks pretty good. And then if you think that you could have made things a little more tighter, like tighter to the edge, you can double click this and get the loop and then go to slide edge. Just slide it closer. So I made it a little too far on one side, so I'm gonna tame that, move it up a little bit. There we go. This I want a little tighter. There we go. And now if I hit 3, it's smooth where you want it, and it's sharp where you want it also. So we can hit the display mode here, so I'm not seeing the edges. There we go. And you see that it's nice and high poly. So basically we do that for everything. And if your topology is good, then adding those edge loops is going to be a lot easier if your topology is kind of messy and going in weird ways. It kind of, if it flows around, then around places that you want the edge loop to go, then it's so much easier. So let's do this next piece. So I'm going to select that, isolate it, and then we have this. So I'm going to add edge loops where I think I need it. So I want this to be sharp, that to be sharp. This inside piece I want to be sharp. that. We want it to be sharp here, here. I'm going to put one right here. And then this bottom piece I'll want to be sharp. I'm trying to keep it the same distance as it goes around. So like I'm looking at the distance of this right here and then trying to match it as close as I can. That looks good. And then I'm going to add an edge loop down here to retain that corner a little more. And then down here, I'll have to add one here. You can hit 3 and just take a look. So it looks like there's a little bit of weirdness there. I forgot to add edge loop that to retain that spot. There we go. I'm hitting 3 a lot, 3 and 1. So 1 will take you to the unsubdivided, 3 will do display smooth. And then right here. That looks good. Looks good. That's fine. Okay. Just checking to see how it's looking. Yeah. That has a nice little edge to it when we look at it and everything is smooth. There we go. So you got 2 pieces done. So those will probably be your easiest ones, and then in the following videos we'll do these other ones.